Mm. Well, hello and welcome here to Quintas Equestris in Puebla, Mexico for your installment here this afternoon. And it's going to be a good installment, actually. It's a 1 meter 45 competition that we're going to see out there today. Really nice course, actually, and a real stunning venue. And this area is in East Central Mexico. It's known for its culinary history, its colonial architecture, the pottery as well. But what a stunning backdrop this arena has, and we'll see that as things progress here this afternoon. Last year when we were here, big grass arena. They've obviously done some work now, all-weather surface. The horses have been jumping very well from this sand. We saw them yesterday in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup here. It was a great class, ended up with one clear. But this afternoon we're going to see around about 50 in this first round. I'm Adam Cromarty, Anya Prado sitting alongside me. It's a great venue, this one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And yes, as long as you said, we are we are joining a new grass sand arena,
Mm.
and we have been looking at the horses jumping really great. And
That's a great kind of view as well of that volcano that is active and is visible from the arena as well. It's something that everyone always talks about when they visit.
yes.
warm up just down the bottom of the hill there. You can see the archway just to the left of your screen. And of course, this is the runners and riders that are going to feature here this afternoon. Some names you'll recognise, also some younger riders, some younger horses as well. But quite a strong field with around 50 starting here in the first round. It is a jump-off format, so of course any tie for first place. Then we're off to the races. We'll see a jump off against the clock where time will break all ties. If you're watching on Facebook Live or you're watching on YouTube, don't forget you can get involved with the conversation. Let me know where you're watching first of all. And if you've got any questions, you can stick that in the comments box below. Carlos Rodolfo is going to be getting us underway. Great young talent, actually. I think he's about 20, 21, and he's one that we've seen win medals at the Youth Championships. So he's going to be our first to go, and we'll give you a quick guided tour of this course as well. He's having a little bit of issues just getting that kind of forward rhythm organised. The course is set by Marina Azevedo, who's the only female level 4 course designer in the world. She built it here last year, she's come back. So let's take a quick look at this course. And we're going to be starting over this vertical at fence number 1. Left-handed sort of bending line down towards the Oxer. Marina's been quite nice to them, so it's quite a kind of even distance to start off. Now things get slightly tougher. We roll back here around towards quite a delicate vertical at fence number 3. And then on that related distance, sending them down to quite a powerful Oxer at 4. Right-handed on the far side, square Oxer here, so the front and the back rail is pretty much the same. Related distance, and it sends them down to that tiny plank at fence number 6. Then a gymnastic test. We're coming down towards a triple combination. Oxer in, 2 strides, takes that vertical, then 1 stride, and you're back out over the Oxer again. So it's power in, delicate through the middle, and then power out at C. Left-handed round the bottom, that was the Oxer at fence 8. Then it's left-handed, another committed line, double in. Then you want to sit up, get organised, and come down towards the square Oxer at fence number 10. And you've still got 3 efforts left when you get to here. Marina's used every inch of this arena. Oxer at fence number 11, sets them up, and then you can see him really sitting back, taking a check down towards the vertical, and then 1 more vertical to come. We finish over fence number 13 down at the bottom end of the arena. So he finishes on just the 4th early rail on course. 80.10 is the time, and the time allowed set in this one, 82 seconds. But Anya, there's a lot of young talent here in Mexico, and I think he'd fall into that category.
Yes, there is. We have like a new generation of riders. He won the Fake Children. Won the Fake Children. So he's been doing this for a couple of years. And yeah, he's part of this young generation of riders.
Well, this is a man who's been a part of the sport for many years. John Perez is going to be coming next, represents Colombia. Started riding at the age of 7. His father and his brother both ride as well, followed in their footsteps. But I know he's got big plans to be at the Central American and Caribbean Games in San Salvador, and then also, of course, the Pan American Games that are coming up in Chile as well. John's got lots of experience. This is quite a forward, active horse. You can see occasionally just has to have a little conversation just to say, you know, steady up, let's keep that canter balanced. John kind of just gliding around here so far. He's just working on that rideability again there, and you can see sometimes when he takes a check, the horse just evades the contact a little bit, sticks its nose up in the air.
3 more to go.
So it's going to be an early clear. Trying to be one of the... Oh, just running down that hill there. He did really well and was very reactive. 1 to come. And jumps the last. There we go. Clear round number 1, courtesy of John Perez for Colombia. Gigi Carmen his ride here in round number 1, the 12-year-old by Bacardi VDL out of an Auckland mare and jumping clear. And there's a good variety in this competition, and John would be, you know, probably one of the most experienced.
Yes, and also he's been riding with Gigi Carmen for a while. So, yeah. Here's another young rider. This is Leonardo Obando. He's from Mexico, and he's riding Acapulco. And yes, this rider is part of this young generation we were talking about. He's been doing many nationals and I think a couple of 2-stars shows with this horse.
Yeah, the horse is quite experienced. It's probably the only one he has on the international circuit at the moment. But I know towards the kind of latter end of last year, we saw him in Guadalajara with this one. Similar classes, he had a win there, he finished second there. So, you know, the horse is getting on a little bit in years. It's, I think, about 16 or 17 years of age, this horse, but still really loving the job. And you wouldn't know it's kind of getting towards those later years in its career. And as long as the horses are managed well, you know, they can go well into their 20s.
Oops. First down.
He just struggles a little bit sometimes. Just keeping everything kind of together in that front end nice and light. Another reminder as well, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, don't forget you can get involved with the conversation. Let us know where you're watching from. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments box below. He's got a couple of rattles on the way around, but still just sitting on the 4. He's in a bit deep. To like, and you can see that smile on his face as well as he kind of comes down towards this final fence. But it comes down. It's going to finish on 12, 81.09, just inside the time allowed. Just having a look at the comments on YouTube Live, and Ari Equestrian would like to steal this one. Says that this horse is so pretty.
Well, they still have a lot of years to come in many competitions, but I think they are getting good together.
Jesus Francisco Orantes comes next, 10-year-old by Winning Mood this one. It's called Wisconsin PS. Out of a staccato mare. Another one for the home nation, representing Mexico here. For those with really eagle eyes, you may notice now that all the jump cups on the front rails of the Oxers and all the verticals are now yellow. And that was a new rule that came into FEI at the beginning of this year. And they're about 3 millimeters shallower than the old white ones. So the whole sport's become that little bit more delicate. Oh, really had to work in there. Hopefully he's going to just settle down into a bit of a quieter rhythm. You can see him pulling past a couple of these distances. Plank is so delicate, but so far so good. Have just joined us. We are still on just one clear. That came from John Perez of Colombia. Long way to go though, about 46 left in the wings.
Yes.
Little rattle there. And gradually the horse is starting to settle down a little bit now though. Just came in with quite a lot of blood. Hustling down there. Ah, caught it.
Yeah, real down.
Penultimate fence on course does come down, so it's going to be 4 jumping faults, a little bit over that time allowed as well. 83.18, so 2 time faults, 4 jumping faults, and a total of 6 there for Jesus. and Wisconsin Pasilla. So 4 gone, 1 clear at this stage. I still think we're going to see a jump off in this one. I think we'd get between 8 and 10 clears would be my crystal ball estimate.
I was thinking about like 10.
You're going for 10?
Yeah, I'm going for 10.
I was edging my bets with 8 and 10.
Okay.
Bernarda Naval. .81.40, so was he, just inside the time allowed of 82 seconds. Juan Carlos Martin del Campo and Dimitri from Mexico guarantees a jump off. He's clear alongside John Perez of Colombia. And as I mentioned at the beginning, a real varied field today. You know, we're going to see horses like Dimitri and Juan Carlos that have got tons of experience. We're going to see some younger riders coming through as well, some younger horses, you know, some that are stepping up. Real variety. Claret Villalsa comes next in Cavant Kaiserhof. 15-year-old by Cicero Zed. The one for the home nation.
This is Claudette Villaiza. She's a young rider. She's 22.
Another one we've seen at the Youth Championships in years gone by. She's picked up a couple of silver medals there. She's been building and building with this horse. It keeps kind of getting better and better. here, just having to fight occasionally. She knows this one quite well. She's had it for about 2.5 years now. It's an old rider, Fernando Martinez Summer used to have this one.
Well, there she goes.
A nice young talent and making a cracking job in there today. She's just got to watch this next fence with this one. It pulls her past the distance sometimes, and they got away with it there. Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah.
78.63.
Good time.
Big smile, big pats, and we'll see her a little bit later on in that jump off against the clock. Well done there to Claudette. Joins Juan Carlos Martin del Campo and John Perez. That's our 3 clears at this stage here in round number 1. Nicolas Pizarro.
A well-known.
Yeah.
A well-known rider.
It's definitely one of the best, you know, and we see him all over the world, really. And Nico's had a nice string of horses. This one's a 9-year-old Oldenburg mare by Conthargos called Conquer Piscia.
Yes, this is a junk horse. I think he started riding Concord last year.
It's been an exciting time for Nico.
Well, last week he had a double win. He won the Classic and the Grand Prix here on the 2-star competition.
Of course, he's been a part of this scene for so many years, and after, I don't know, about 16, 17 years, he's finally got his own base now. He's moved in there and he's planning to start running some national shows there as well. And as well as the riding, he really likes training as well. He's got some good pupils out and about.
One thing about Nico is that he's not just a rider, he's also a coach, and he never stops.
He's always busy.
He's always busy. And also his son and his daughter, they both ride. They're doing a good job too. One more.
Should be okay for time.
Yes?
Yes, safely through. 80.81 and clear there for Nicolas Pizarro. Conquer Piscia gives us clear round number 4 here in the first round. He's just joined us. This is a 1m45 competition, jump-off format, and we've now got 4 clears that will come back to compete against the clock a little bit later. Let's see if Andre Gonzalez de Frey will be there. Can't Resist. That's the name of the horse, the 11-year-old gelding by Kornat Belensky.
Andres is from Jalapa, Veracruz, but it's like 2 or 3 hours away from here. He is also Manuel Gonzalez's brother. They will ride. And I'm not sure now, on Friday he won one of the classes here.
He'd still be a relatively young rider, this one. But about 25, 26. And that plank is so delicate. And everything's just flattened a little bit.
Triple.
And that triple combination really is all about the canter. If you've not got the canter coming in, it's not going to go well. Just fixing his hat?
No, just fix it.
Just fixing his hat, okay, excellent. Bit of a wiggle and a jiggle down to that final fence. But he does come home, and he comes home in 16 in 78.86. That's the result there for Andre Gonzalez de Frey, and can't resist. Jumped some nice rounds in Lucia with that one towards the end of last year. This is another really experienced horse, Union de la Natria, and Alberto Sanchez Cozar next up. Represents Mexico. 15-year-old gelding by Diamond de Semele out of a Cannon mare.
Last week they both finished in third place in these 145.
I think a lot of the riders came last week, didn't they, to kind of get used to this new arena, because it was grass the year before. So they wanted to come in here. And
well, this is not the first competition here with the last competition of last year was with the sand arena. But yeah, many of them compete last week. Not all of them, but many of them. Because there was another national competition in Guadalajara. Well down on the triple.
moves up there. Into the last, gets in deep but gets over it. 80.29, clear for Alberto Sanchez Cozar, Union de la Natria. Another one to watch in that jump off, you know, thinking back of the experience that partnership have got together. Don't forget, if you are watching on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, if you want to get involved with the conversation, let me know where you're watching from. If you get any questions, any comments, good luck messages, anything at all, just stick it in the comments box below, and we'll keep an eye on those feeds as things continue here, because we've got a long way. We've got about 40 left here in the first round. Jacquemart next up, 14-year-old gelding. Claudia Michel on board from Mexico.
In 2021, they finished third in the 140 in this 3 stars competition here in Puebla.
Claudia's about 23 years of age, another one of the younger athletes.
Yes, it's part of this generation I was talking about. Like they're in the between their 18s and 20s, and you know. Yeah. But we also have younger generation that are around 15, 16 years old that are doing a great job too.
She's got a couple of nice horses out at the moment. She's got Grandio, Angela, another one that she's got. With Jacquemart, she's just sitting on that single rail for now. That's a rail that we've seen come down a couple of times. She landed over the fence before. I think maybe she could have just sat up that little bit quicker. The horse just landed a little bit long.
And one for time.
Nice pat for the horse on the way out, which is good to see. That was the first rail she came down. Manages to get things back, and then we're not going to see that second line, but we're going to head to Wilder Francisco Rodriguez next with BP St. Patrick. His father coached the eventing team for Guatemala at international level, including the Olympic Games back in 1976 in Montreal. His brother Juan Andreas has competed in quite a few equestrian disciplines. Represented Guatemala in jumping, though, in Beijing back in 2008. And I think they're actually still based in Guatemala. Nick Rivers has just joined us on the Facebook Live, watching from Maine. Miguel says, go Mexico. Moira Pat's watching in Florida. Colleen Fraser's watching in West Virginia. Good to have you with us. And if you are watching on Facebook Live or YouTube, don't forget, we're keeping an eye. You can get involved.
Well, this week, Wilder and BP St. Patrick, they won the 135 class of the 4-star competition here a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's not going too badly. I mean,
yep.
Horse has got the ingredients there. Came a little bit deep to the first part, and then the knock-on effect there. So 8 at the moment, coming down towards this final fence. And some time faults as well. 84.28 brings them to a total of 11 there. But we do have 5 clears at the moment. John Perez, Juan Carlos Martin del Campo, Claret Viciaza, Nicolas Pizarro, Alberto Sanchez Cozar is our 5th. Hi there to Jennifer Lehman. She's watching on YouTube. She's a retired paramedic, an FEI level 2 coach and judge. She says it was worth all the work to get accredited. I think everywhere around the world's crying out for new officials, so if anyone else fancies giving it a go, do speak to your national federation. Jacqueline's watching on YouTube as well, saying I've got 2 young hunters that are for sale and a show jumper who she's breeding. Sounds like you've got a busy time. And this is a busy class, actually. And we're heading next to Luis Fernando and Carol van der Hel.
Luis Fernando and his brother, they both have a facility here in Puebla that it's called Cumbres. Yeah, they also teach. They are also coaches.
It's good to see him back out on the international circuit. We saw him a couple of years ago with Connor Express, and the year before with Easy Does It. This will be their 4th or 5th FEI competition as a pairing. Really used the upper body through there, but he was almost lying on its hindquarters. He came into that line quite quietly, and then all of a sudden 3 strides out, put his leg on. I think it just kind of affected the distance he needed coming in. But in relative terms, still probably getting to know this one. You know, he was jumping this horse, or this horse was jumping in Canoca in Belgium up until summertime last year. As I say, 4th or 5th international competition. So I think he'll want to go and work on the canter and the rhythm. I think that will really help with the rideability, but he's going to finish on a couple of time faults as well here today. 85.06, 8 jumping and 4 time, total of 12 there for Luis Fernando. So we'll stay on those 5 clears at this stage.
Well, now we have another veteran from Brazil, Rodrigo Lambre, riding Mesquidam PS. They were supposed to ride yesterday also in the Grand Prix.
And these guys are all, you know, great riders. They're great horsemen as well. So for whatever reason, he's decided to bring it in here today. Cindy Kelly's just joined. She's watching in Halifax, Nova Scotia on YouTube. Good to have you with us. Sandra says she was in Mexico a week ago. She'd just been here this week. You could have came. It'd be great to have you all getting involved, joining in as well on YouTube and on Facebook. It's good to have your company because we've got 36 to go. Then, of course, an exciting jump off to come. These more experienced partnerships are just kind of gliding around this course today, making it look quite easy.
Oops.
Spoke too soon.
You said it.
But that is a sort of unlucky rail, really. You know, all the kind of technical lines out there, they've been absolutely fine. Just the 4, 78, 8, 8 and 4. Now at the moment that pops him into 6th place, so he might end up with some money, but he is sitting on the 4 faults. We'll find out how many clears we get as things progress here in the first round. He might end up down the bottom of our leaderboard. Rufino Rivera is next to go. Isidore RT.
It's Isidore RT with Rufino Rivera from Mexico.
10-year-old gelding. Our course designer's done a really good job. There's enough testing questions out there like that one, and it looked like the horse was almost anticipating that right-handed turn. And that issue came from before he jumped the first part. Just carried forward. Has to whistle down there. He just overcooked that line a little bit. And takes the penultimate as well. So a lot to like from the partnership, but just having a few unlucky rails in there today. Going to finish on that total of 16:81.41, the time in the first round there for Rufino and Isidore RT. So staying on those 5 clears, Alberto Sanchez Cozar, Nicolas Pizarro, Claret Villa Juan Carlos Martin del Campo and John Perez, all safely through to that jump off against the clock. Trina DeLisler's just joined us on Facebook Live, watching in Jamaica. Good to have you with us. And we go next to Eduardo Sanchez Navarro. Another experienced athlete, you know, another one that we've seen out and about pretty much all over the place. And he's always had some nice horses, actually, this one.
And we also have seen here in many podiums, because this is a winner combination.
Yeah.
I was going to say that these riders are really lucky to have Marina designing here, because many of them are looking for a spot for the Central American Games and the Pan American Games.
Yeah.
And as I know, Marina is going to be designing in the Pan American Games. So I think it's quite exciting to have the chance to compete on her designs.
Absolutely.
I don't want to say much, but I think we're going to have a clear round here.
It's always nice to see Eduardo. He used his luck there.
But not there.
Up with him.
Yeah, the plank. But that's a delicate one. I'm not going to say anything anymore.
to stick his hand up and call it a day.
I think he's going to retire, yeah.
Yeah, decides to retire there. The 12-year-old gelding, Governor. Got to remember these horses have only got so many jumps in them, so you know if he's not getting the feeling that he wants out there today, he knows he's out of contention for prize money. There's not really much point in continuing on unless you've got a horse that kind of needs that ring time and experience. But the horse he had with him certainly doesn't fall into that category.
And I think next we have Luis Gerardo Castañeda. His friends call him Taka Castañeda. And he's riding Shakira. He's a fast rider. He likes to ride fast. They like speed.
Well, Shakira's a horse he's had for quite a while now. He's produced it up through the grades and the levels, and we've seen him have a couple of wins with this one. Similar competitions down in Lucia at the end of last year. Just had a couple down in the Grand Prix here last week, 2-star level. But yeah, he's another one. If he gets to the jump off, he's not going to be hanging around.
Let's see the last line.
Right, down towards this final fence. Let's see if he's going to make it through. Yes, he is. No issues with the time either. 77.89. Through he goes there. Luis Gerardo Castañeda.
Till now, the fastest time on the class.
So that might be an indication that he's going to be quick in the jump off.
As I said,
Naturally forward horse, that one.
he likes the speed.
So about 17 gone so far, 6 clears, just over 30 left to come here in the first round. And Juan Jose Zendejas is next with the 11-year-old mare by Cartoon called Kimila. Rides for Mexico, this one. He'd be another athlete, you know, we see on the world stage. We've seen him at places like Spruce Meadows, Thunderbird Show Park as well.
And he says this is one of his favorite shows, coming here to Puebla.
It is a nice part of the world, you know, with the backdrop, the volcano, of course, that we always talk about. But the food is nice as well, and the people. It's a real gymnastic test coming across the arena, that one, and it's all about the canter that you come in with. The canter and the rideability on your approach. Faults would get you on the leaderboard. I don't think that's going to be the case as we get towards the end of the competition. But he will finish on the 8, 2 rails down, 80.59 for Juan Jose Zendejas and Camila for Mexico.
Rank 11 till now.
He spent a lot of time in North America training people with like Ilan Federer. Sofia Larea comes next. Zoran, 13-year-old gelding by Zorro, out of a Peter Pan mare. This is one that Salvador Iñati owns. And Sofia brings some good experience. Seen her in the Nations Cups in the past. There's a bit of whistling going on. I don't know. Ah, there's the bell. I think she was waiting. I don't know if they're maybe just fixing a rail or maybe raking some of the ground or whatever. Or the judges were having a cup of tea. It could be any of those things. And at this point in the competition, these riders will have had a chance to, you know, watch a few go, because it's all right, you know, walking the lines, but it's always nice just to have a watch as well and just see if they ride like you walk them. So far, so good. It's quite a nice model of a horse. It's quite compact, this one, well put together, quite light in the front end. So her luck used up.
Yeah, but I think they have a good pace together. Not too rushy, not.
Yeah, she's forward and active, but she does need to just keep everything together there. She did a good job. Last fence, and nicely done. 79.54.
Another clear round.
Yeah, and she's happy with that one, quite rightly so. Sofia Larea will feature in that jump off against the clock. It's going to be a fast one when we get there.
Yeah. 7 till now. 7 to the jump off.
Yep, 7 clears, but we've got about 31 left to come in the first round, so I think we'll be seeing a few more. Francisco Pascal comes next with Naranjo. Another real experienced partnership, one we've seen in World Cups in the past, and Fran works hard not only as an athlete, but also, you know, organising some of the big shows that we see here in Mexico.
Yes, he is. They also won on Friday. These class, the 145 for the 4-star competition. They were the winners. They did a great job. I think they are looking for a double win.
And this would be one of the more experienced partnerships. Can he sort it out before here? Just,
yeah.
I don't know how much that plank's sitting on the edge of the cups, but if it falls between now and when he gets through the finish line, it's still faultable. So hopefully there's no strong breezes between now and then. Time's okay. Oh. Jumps the last and he's clear, 78.13. He'll be happy with that one. Congratulations there to Francisco Pascal of Mexico, who goes through with Naranjo. Going to be some jump off when we get there.
Yeah, we have
too
8.
many. That's what we've got.
We got 8 till now, and now we're gonna see Arturo Parada. He finished 3rd yesterday on the Grand Prix with Bacot, and now he's riding Pandora 258. And this is a fast combination. Arturo really likes to run. Pandora likes to run too. Oops. Rail number 2 down.
It was a shame for him yesterday. I mean, it was great he finished in 3rd, but it was such an unlucky rail he had in the World Cup.
But talking to him, he said when he walked the course, he knew he had to give 9 strides. And he did 8.
And he went on the 8. So he was kind of kicking himself a little bit. At the moment, 4 faults would get you into 9th. I don't think the 4 faults are going to get into the money. But our coach designer had a tough job because, you know, we've got some, you know, World Cup horses in this one. And then we've got some younger ones. We've got some, you know, newer riders as well. So I think she had to do a test where, you know, it would challenge the more experienced ones, but also not kill the younger ones as well. Arturo decides to call it a day, retires with Pandora. Not the day he was hoping for, but he's had some good results here and a good campaign over the weekend and last week as well, so hopefully not too disappointed, but I think a great idea to retire. It just wasn't giving him the feeling that he wanted today.
Kind of short in that last Oxer. Yeah, I think he felt that, like, no need to keep forward. So here's John Perez back with his second horse.
Already clear with the first one.
Yeah, he's already in the jump off. Now riding Julio de Toxandria set. I don't know many about this horse. I don't know. I think it's quite new with him, or it's a young horse.
Yeah, it's a 9-year-old, and you know, it's kind of becoming more and more consistent at this level.
Okay.
John's a good rider. He seems to get a good tune out of, you know, most horses he sits on. Chased on the way in there. Don't know if he felt he didn't quite have what he needed, so he, you know, went arms and elbows, and it catches up with him. Using this time in the ring now just to give the horse a nice finish.
Let's see the clock now. Also, they are gonna have time falls.
Yeah, I think when he knew he was out of contention, I think he kind of steadied down a little bit and turned it into more of a kind of schooling round. But we'll finish on the 19 there. John Perez and Julio already clear with that first ride though, so the story not over for him today. We will see him back for the jump off later on. Nice horse, a lot to like, very scopy. When Carlos Martin del Campo comes next, La Costa.
Yes, his second horse. He's already in the jump off with Dimitri. Let's see if he doubles the possibilities on winning.
We see Juan Carlos travel quite a bit across North America. Another one that just moved that to the edge of the cup. And these riders are really spoiled for choice with shows here in Mexico now as well. There's quite a few. We've got more 5-stars here now than they ever have before. Plenty of 2-stars. Got their Nations Cup, Major League.
Yeah, on Friday they finished in the 5th position of the 4-star 145 class. And he did it again.
No, he's not.
Nope.
A little bit too steady today. 82.05. So heads into 9th place at the moment. He'll be kicking himself a little bit because 5/100ths of a second is barely anything. Interesting to find out as well, he's got a crupper strap on. It goes, you know, the horse's tail goes through it, attaches to the back of the saddle. And normally we see them in pony club with little fat ponies because you can't get a saddle to not slide up the neck. Never really seen anyone else ride that in international jumping, but must work for them. And Nico Pizarro comes back once again, this time with him. He's got Atlantica du Soleil Z, 11-year-old mare. Another one that's already earned a place in the jump off with the first ride. And as I mentioned, you know, when he was in last time, he's got so much experience, this guy. You know, producing horses up through the grades, working as a coach, being out there representing his country.
Well, with this horse, he finished 6th in Aachen in a 5-star competition. Last year, they have a good year.
Don't forget as well, if you've just joined us on Facebook Live or on YouTube, you can get involved. Let us know where you're watching from. Any questions, pop those in the comments box below. It's always great to hear what you guys think. So we'll be keeping an eye on those. This horse has got all the ingredients that you would want in a modern jumping horse. Came back to him nicely for the double. Issues. 77.21 earns another place in that jump off against the clock. Coming towards the halfway stage here in the first round, and we sit with 9 clears at the moment. I think Marina, our course designer, would have liked a few less, but she had such a tough job on her hands today with such a variety of horses coming forward. And there's only so much you can do at 145 level as well. Oscar Barragan comes next. This is Clip de Contes, another one from Mexico. Race Horses is on Facebook Live talking about the last one, saying she loves the chestnut. That was a shame for Oscar there, quite an early rail. And sometimes if you have an early rail, you can think, well, I'm going to try and be the fastest for fault round, but today I don't think that's going to help you. In any FEI competition, there has to be at least 12 cash awards, so there is going to be 12 in this one today with a number of starters. And then it would go on a ratio of 1 to 4, or every part of 4.
No, we already have 9.
Exactly, so and then with another rail, it really sort of comes down to just using your time in the ring now. It's quite hard to replicate this kind of ring experience at home, you know, with the people sitting around and all the signage and the flowers, the real nice show jumps that they have here. So I think if you do have something that you are working with and pushing up the grade, sometimes it can be useful just to stay in the ring even though you're out of contention. Just fought with them a little bit down that line and catches the last fence as well. So it's going to finish on 16 here today, 77.71 and 16 there for Oscar Barragan and Clip.
Well, now we are going to see Alberto Sanchez Cosar coming back now with Abril Ilcha, this mare that he's been riding for a while.
11-year-old by Chaco Blue.
They won a couple of Grand Prix, I think. I'm not sure how many, but yeah, we've seen them working together and doing a great job as a couple.
He's been part of Team Mexico for many years. We saw him with a horse called Whoop, probably his most famous horse so far, I would think. Picked up a team gold and individual silver at the Central America and Caribbean Games back in 2018 with that one. He's got quite a few nice horses at the moment. An exciting time for him. He finished quite well in Lucia at the end of last year. Started a good campaign here last week. He's had this horse for a couple of years now, and that was a shame.
Again, the triple combination, the vertical.
And fast four faults aren't going to be in the lineup today.
Well, at the beginning was at around 10 clear rounds, but I think we're going to have more.
77.12 takes a single fence on course, so he's going to finish on 4 there. Alberto Sanchez Cozar. Again, at the moment he heads into 11th place. He's not going to stay there.
Well, he's the fastest 4 until now, but yeah, I don't think he's going to stay in the top 12.
I'm not sure that'll be a consolation for him.
I know, I know.
Janice has just joined us watching in Otway.
Well, but still he's already on the jump off with...
Yeah, we'll see him come back.
We'll see him come back. I think we're going to have a break to take care of the course.
Yeah, we can see our clear round so far up there with John Perez, Juan Carlos Martin del Campo, Claret Villisa, Nicolas Pizarro, Alberto Sanchez Cozar, Luis Gerardo Castaneda, Sofia Laria, Francisco Pascal, and Nicolas Pizarro with another horse, all coming back. Yeah, and really we could have jumped another 25 on the surface. It's a real good all-weather surface to put in here, but I think the attention to detail here is just so good, and they want to make sure that, you know, the surface is just as spot on for the last rider as it was for the first rider. So I think that's why we're taking the short pause. They'll bring the tractors in, run them through the jumps, and then we'll see the second half.
And also I think they are taking care of the paddock too.
Yeah, yeah,
so
just kind of looking after it.
It's a nice moment to take a break for both the course and the paddock. Who else is watching us?
Addie's just joined, watching in Windsor Locks in Connecticut. Good to be with us, Addie. Again, if anyone wants to get involved, you want to tell us where you're watching from, it'd be good to hear from you if you're on Facebook Live or YouTube. It's only going to be about a 5-minute break, so don't go too far. Georgina Venting is in Washington State. Good to have you with us, Georgina. Brian Williams is watching. Lucy at West Coast is watching on YouTube as well. Nosta Jenks. Racedy 2002 on YouTube. Caitlin Thomas. Lily Schlanigan. Hope I got your name right, Lily. Shady Ladies on there as well. Yeah, so if you do want to get involved, let me know where you're watching from. If there's any questions about either the venue or the competition or the sport in general or just anything you like, really, you can pop that in the box below. Miss Yarbs is watching in Nebraska. I'll be heading to Nebraska for the World Cup Finals in Omaha in April. Love it there. They hosted the World Cup Finals a few years ago, and it was one of the best ones I've ever been to. And the stakes there are pretty immense, which is very important. Unicornus is watching in Poland. Rennie's in North Carolina. I think Karine gets the jealousy award, though. She's watching in Barbados. Hope you're on the beach, Karine. Matilda's watching in Denmark, over in Europe. I'll be heading back to Europe in about 6 hours' time. Sophia's watching in Cyprus. Sarah's in Denmark as well. Brian Williams just moved from California to Texas. Horses shipping this week, so excited. There's a lot of good shows in Texas now with, you know, Pinnock starting in March, and the World Cup finals are heading to Texas in a few years. Sandu's watching in Romania. Nostalginx is excited that I actually pronounced her channel name correctly. Well, it's one of the only things I probably announced correctly all day, so I would take it. Lily's watching in Minnesota. Emma's in New York. Gwendolyn in Michigan. Catalina's in Argentina. The nickname is watching in Spain. Abby H in Scotland, where I'm from. What part of Scotland are you from, Abby? Sophia's watching in Portugal. Heather Pierce is watching in England, where I live now, and I'll be heading back to this afternoon. Laurie King's in New Mexico. Lucy at West Coach is watching in England. So great to have you all with us. And we'll be back underway here in just a couple of minutes' time. Grace is asking, can you enter a competition riding 2 different horses? Yeah, we've seen that in this one actually. And you know, before you enter an FEI competition, you can have a look at the schedule. And if you're going to enter, I would highly suggest that you do that. It gives you the specs of the competition, so how high the fences are, the speed of the competition, the prize money, the entry fee, all that stuff. And it also says how many horses you can enter in each competition. So like yesterday for the World Cup, it's 1 horse per rider. Quite often, you know, in the big Grand Prix, it's 1 horse per rider. But in a class like today, I think they're allowed 2 in this one as per the schedule here, but they could actually have 3. But again, that comes down just to the schedule. Mary Solis is watching in Ocala, Florida. Liliana, I think, saying something in Spanish. I'm going to push C translation.
She's saying hi.
Oh, okay.
Greetings.
Greetings, it says.
Yeah.
Well, greetings back at you. Kimberly's watching in Seattle. Tina's watching in London. Andrew and Olivia. I hope I got your name right, Olivia. Dad and daughter watching in Dallas from the Trophy Club. Watching outside there. Vincent's in Ireland. So many good horses coming out of Ireland still. You know, I always think about, you know, the horses coming from Europe, but you can't discount Ireland. You've got some good auctions there at places like Cavan. That's a great show to go to. Hospitality there is immense. You've got a sore head for weeks afterwards, though. Mikael is in Fort Wayne in Indiana. Angel Landis is watching in Landenberg, Pennsylvania. Caitlin Thomas watching in Texas. Texas is such a big horse country. I'll be going to Pin Oak in just a few weeks' time. I was at Fort Worth as well for the World Cup there at the end of last year, so I do like going to Texas. Another place with good beef, actually. Seems to be a bit of a pattern forming. Sherry Lady said, what's the weather like over there today? I mean, it's hot and it's sunny. I got completely sunburnt yesterday. I looked like a lobster. So I'm staying out of the sun today.
Well, but the wind is cold. Let's say that.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that, because in the afternoon it gets
I think it's
pretty cold.
It deceives you though, because yesterday I thought, oh, it's not that hot, I don't need to put any sunscreen on. But actually the sun's so strong here. Lucy says, what time is it there? It's 1:30 in the afternoon. Sarah says, I'm just regretting the fact that after 3 weeks at home I'm starting my 3rd semester at school tomorrow. You'll get through it, Sarah. I felt the same when I was at school. But you'll get through it. Lily says she wants to be sleeping. Hope we're not boring you, Lily. It's going to be an exciting jump off when we get there. There's going to be so many in it. It's going to be a gallop. Faith's in California. Anne-Marie's in Alaska. Hannah's in Ireland. Abby H has replied she's in Glasgow. Passed through there about 2 weeks ago on my way to Glencoe. Julia's in Minnesota. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the chat as things continue here. We've still got about halfway to go in the first round, then that jump off to come as well. Oh, and Pamela's just tuned in as well in North Carolina, which I think is where Tryon is. I was there for a World Cup 2 years ago, I think it was. Alison and Widnes in Cheshire, not too far away from where I live now in Southport. Great to see how many people from around the world are tuning in and enjoying the sport here in Puebla. And a great backdrop, you can see that on your screens there. And we're quite high up here as well. I think it's about 2,300 meters above sea level here, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. They should come visit. Everybody should come visit.
Yeah,
They are
everyone.
very welcome here in Mexico.
And it's quite easy to get to, actually. You can fly right into the main airport in Mexico. I know some of our FEI colleagues that were here yesterday tried to fly into Puebla, but the volcano that's just down the road from us here was quite active and their flights were all cancelled, so they then had to reroute through Mexico City. But it's not, I think it's about an hour and a half, maybe hour 45 from Mexico City Airport.
It's about like, yeah, 1 hour 45 and 2 hours, around 2 hours, with the traffic coming up from Mexico City.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Lorena's just tuned in Switzerland. Love going to Switzerland. I was in Lausanne a few years ago. They had a master's there. Wherever Lucy is, she says it's about minus 10,000 there. I think it was like 25 degrees Celsius here, which is pretty perfect. But it's still hot enough for my Scottish skin to get burned. It looks like the tractor's just having a last pass over.
Yeah, we're almost there.
And then we'll see the rest of this first round. And some good horses still to come as well. Oh, and if you're watching on Facebook, forgot to ask as well, you can hit that share button, let your friends know they can get involved, tag in anyone you like, share it to groups, all that fun stuff. Don't want them missing it. Here's who's left to come on our screens now, though. Fabian Zahanis is in there, Alejandro Mills, Sofia Michel. Juan Jose Salinas is in there as well. Sofia Larea, we saw her earlier, already through with one, coming back. Arturo Parada Vallejo, who jumped nice yesterday. Fabian's got another one actually, so he must be allowed 3 in this. I didn't look at the schedule. Someone was asking before about how many you could ride in this, and I know we've seen a lot with 2, but it must be 3 in the schedule.
I'll find out.
Are you having a search, are you?
I'm going to search.
Well, you're going to get us in real trouble now if it says 2 in the schedule and the judges haven't noticed, so good luck with that. Being vague's always the best option, but you feel free. I'm pretty sure it'll be 3 though.
If not, I'm going to say I didn't find it.
Okay.
If it's not the right information.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone else wants to find it, if you just Google FEI calendar and then in the venue you can just search for Puebla and then you can bring it up. It's actually probably on the Longines timing website. It's normally put on there. And if you want to head along to look at the start list, the live scoring, if you want to see the course plan from the competition, you can find all that on longinetiming.com. Longines is the title partner and timekeeper for the World Cup Series. It's always good to have those guys with us.
Three horses.
There you go. Right, looks like we're ready to get back underway here. Best of luck to all our athletes that are still waiting in the wings, getting ready to come forward. Some real good ones still to come.
Yep. Many chances to have a little bit more crowded jump off. But it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be a gallop.
Yep.
As I mentioned earlier, I think Marina Azevedo has done a good job with that kind of mixed field. You know, you've seen horses that have been to represent Mexico in Nations Cups and regional games. Then you've got like 8-year-old and 9-year-old horses. There's our volcano. Love a bit of the volcano.
Do you want to try to pronunciate the name?
No.
Popocatépetl.
I'm sure there was a horse named after that a few years ago.
I'm not sure which.
You could give that a Google as well. If you want.
I'm going to look for that, but not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, not right now. No, the other, because they ask about how many horses. Yeah, but it's a great view, and that's the other volcano. That's the Sleeping Lady. Because it has the.
I can pronounce that one.
Iztaccíhuatl?
No, maybe not.
Okay.
My Spanish is very limited. Sí. I think that's all, yeah.
Y hola.
Muchas gracias.
That's enough.
But yeah, that's the view that we've got from this venue. On a clear day, you can see for miles and miles. I think I can almost see my hotel room from there. I think Fabian Sahanis will be up with us in just a sec. He's just building up the drama and the tension for us here. Some nice horse properties. They're kind of connected along with this venue. And Quintas Equestres is a venue that just keeps getting better and better. The hospitality here is simply amazing. You can see some of the vendors that are down there as well.
Well, it's not just a great venue with a great view. They have 3 courses, 2 on 1 grass.
Mm.
So there are many other competitions going through at the same time we're here. I think we're almost there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's our ground jury sitting in there. That's where the judges sit. See some of the riders just chilling out now.
Park called Popo Islas Highway. Because there are 2. Yes, you can not all the way to the top, but yep, you can do it if you have enough condition to get up there.
I'll get practicing for next year.
Okay.
Right, we are back underway. Fabian Sahanis joins us now. He's one of the Olympians that we're going to see in the field today. And of course, we've also seen him at the Worlds last year as well in Hernrig in Denmark. He was there with Harley van de Bishop. He was at the Olympics with Amir. But in this one, he brings Colourflow forwards, representing Argentina. And nice to have that selection of horses that you've got. One you took to the Worlds last year, one you took to the Olympics the year before. This one that's, becoming more and more consistent. Kerfoli DX Stays finished just a rail, I think it was, in Monterey in the 145 Grand Prix there. He first brought this out internationally around this time last year. Spent a bit of time down at WEF at the Winter Equestrian Festival during their Nations Cup event.
Well, like 2 weeks ago, he won like the first show of the year. It was a national competition, but they won the 140 open class together. So a good beginning for the year.
Yeah, sets them up nicely. Oh, final part of the triple there.
That triple.
This horse has got a real unique face markings as well. That white face really stands out. He's given it a real nice ride today. And this will be a ride that gives the horse a bit of confidence as he navigates round.
One full time.
Yeah, and 4 for jumping. I don't think he was too concerned with the time after he had a rail. He knew he was out of contention today. So we'll finish on the 5 there, 82.78. Julia N's on YouTube and saying that she loves the face marking of that horse. Lucy's agreeing as well. But we're going to get Alejandro Mills underway next. This time with Chataga. 18-year-old mare, this one, by Chaco Blue. Bit of a Cathargo Z mare. If you're following breeding lines, those are two very good jumping stallions.
Well, Alejandro and Chataga have been riding together for a long time. They had a great year last year. They won in San Miguel.
Alejandro's got some good experience. Catches that delicate plank. He was part of the team that took a silver medal. Having a little bit of a correction down that line. And puts his hand up in the air. Obviously he's retired now, so he just has to be a little bit careful about how much correcting he does, because for him the competition's over. So really anything from here on in becomes more of a punishment than a correction, because he's no longer in the competition. So you just have to be a little bit careful. Well, at the moment, 9 clears at this stage. Again, I think we are going to see another 3 or 4, at least. Perhaps more than that. But those that are already clear will be making their plan for the jump off. And, you know, most riders would walk the jump off course when they walk for the first round. But now seeing how many clears we've got, I think you just kind of revisit that plan. But also avoid that temptation to change the plan too much and end up, you know, having a silly mistake. So we'll wait and see what they all decide to do when they come back for this jump off against the clock a bit later on. Obviously, when someone does retire halfway through the round, the next one quite often won't be ready, because you sort of time it, you know, when you're down there in the warm-up, that you want to be, you know, coming up that hill, coming to the gate as it goes up and as you can come in. You don't want the horse standing and getting cold after you've warmed up. So, but Sophia Michel comes next with BP First Editions. Young rider with a couple of really nice horses at the moment. This one's an 11-year-old mare by Verdi TN. Of course, Sophia represents the home nation of Mexico here.
These horses, Alberto Sanchez Cosar used to ride as horse before Sophia. Sophia is Claudia's sister, that we already saw her riding.
And she's a young rider.
Yes.
Should be 19 maybe?
I think so, yeah.
18,
She's
19.
part of this generation. Again, we were talking about, like, we can see younger riders that are just getting into high competitions. And then, well, the ones we already know that are trying new horses also.
This is a horse that she took to the North American Youth Championships a couple of years ago, part of the team that just missed out on a medal there. Oh. Yeah, we saw that kind of coming in. And quite often that triple combination, it's all about that canter in your approach to the first part. It's so connected all the way through. Down those last few lines. He got lucky at the last, but we'll finish on 8 faults today. 79.24 there for Sophia and BP First Editions.
En la pista número 30 representa a México Juan José Cendejas, Juan José Salinas, que monta Real de 14.
A nice horse, good one to have on our string. Just not for them. Juan José Salinas comes next. Real de Cartos. 11-year-old this one by Legolas. One that Juan José owns with Nicolas Pizarro. think an extra shout out to the grooms as well, because these horses are turned out so immaculately. Really is a team effort getting ready for a competition like this. So far, so good. It's never over till you're down this final line.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Triple combinations caused a few issues, but I think the real big test on course is that very delicate, skinny, vertical. It comes at you quite quickly after the previous fence. See that little shake of a head and a bit of frustration, no doubt, but I'm sure you'll still be very happy with the horse. Putting a nice solid performance there.
Well, we've seen it falling down a few times, and well, another few that didn't, but got touch.
This is Eduardo Sanchez Navarro coming next with that crack FW. 10-year-old this one by Casarello. Another experienced athlete. Been a part of the sport here for many years. So she's been building its consistency. It's quite reactive down that line there. And you can see him just sitting up and containing the energy. You don't want to come in here with too much, knowing that plank is waiting for you.
Good job on the triple combination.
Just rolled that rail coming in, but it stayed in the cups. Then catches that one. Just lost his reins a little bit. You can see him gathering things back up. Just seeing a weight down to that. to set up coming down that line. She's quite quick across the ground. Juan Jose just works to contain that energy.
And again, he has trouble with the triple combination. Exactly same pull.
It's not been the afternoon you'd expect from this rider, actually. Just having the odd rail on each of the horses.
Maybe a full time, yeah. Time is now.
85.63, so yeah, you got a rail and a bit of time as well. So total of 8 there for Juan Jose Zendejas. 85.63 and 8s here in the first round. Still keeping an eye on YouTube and Facebook as well, and Samantha Grace Doyle's watching from Ireland. Bet it's a little bit colder in Ireland tonight than it is here. Jorge Mena Carrila comes next, Balzac de Telma. This is a horse we've seen around a little bit as well. Wouldn't be new to this level, this horse. "12-year-old Salle Francais. He's got red in its tail, so that indicates to the other athletes in the warm-up that he shouldn't get too close to this one. It obviously doesn't like horses coming up behind. And he felt that kind of coming in, you know, to that line. He tried to make a correction, but there's just too much energy and power. Moves up down there. And comes down towards the last. So I'm sure he'll take a lot away from this round, and I think the one word would be rhythm. You know, just getting that nice canter rhythm that the horse is going to stay in all the way around, because there was times he really had to move up, and there was other times he had too much energy and had to try and close the canter down a little bit.
Well, that's 8 faults in the course, 1 penalty for time, total 9 in 82.83.
And we're staying on 9 clears at this stage.
Yep.
Francisco Pascal Vega comes next, dominant 2000Z. This is a 13-year-old Zangerside stallion by Diamond de Semele. Francisco's 19 years of age. This is a horse he took to the North American Youth Championships, 10th in the 2-star Grand Prix here last week. And this is a horse that Paolo Amalibia rode for a little while.
Yep, and he's also Francisco Pascal's son.
So it really is in the family.
Yes, it is.
And that whole family's involved.
The whole family, yeah. As we said, this is a new generation.
Yeah. And it's exciting to see so many young riders coming through.
Let's see how they do today. We're still on 9 clear rounds, 9 to the jump off.
I'd expect to see at least 12, maybe 1 or 2 more. We'll wait and see. Got about 15 left here in the first round. We know it's going to be an exciting jump off when we get there.
Well, we still have good combinations up to come, so.
Just having a look at the YouTube live chat, and Shady Lady's asking, can you wear any colour of outfit for competitions like these? No, not quite. It has become a little bit more liberal in terms of the colours of jackets and stuff. There's a bit much more bling than there used to be, but other things are pretty much set. But again, all the riders know what they can and can't wear because it's all laid out within the FEI rule books, which are available to everybody online. If you fancy some light bedtime reading to send you to sleep, then you can find those FEI rule books and the general regs and the veterinary regs. They're all available online. I think the previous rider, when he had the plank down, actually injured the plank, so I've had to bring in a substitute. And that's where there's a little bit of a delay for Francisco. See that look of concentration as he comes down there. Quite an analytical young rider, always kind of thinking about what's happening beneath him. He's got some good natural feel as well. Oh, really moved up there. Now he's going to have to work.
Yep.
You can do that to the Oxer, but it's this plank you've got to think about. And Francisco would have known, you know, that was on the cards when it came with all that power to the Oxer before that line. Saying the same thing, but again, it's about that canter and the approach to the first part. That's where the issue in the triple combination really came. I might add that as well.
Yep.
It's all just about this kind of rideability. And when he takes a check, the horse does pop its head up a little bit and occasionally just tries to evade that contact. And you really want that feeling that as soon as you take a squeeze down the rein, that the sort of canter comes back to you. And you almost want to be like an accordion that you can shorten and lengthen. And we saw that plank coming down, but the real, you know, issue started way before that, kind of 2 fences before.
Well, Francisco Pascal Vega finishes with 12 points in the course, 1 penalty for time, 13 points, 82-86 on the clock.
Sofia Larea already through with 1, went through with the first horse. And now this time she is going to bring with her Drumconic Verde, this one actually. It's a 14-year-old stallion by Verde TN, out of a Pedinus mare. And Sophia's been riding, you know, since she was 8. She's been part of the sport for many years. Another one we've seen at the Central American and Caribbean Games. We've seen at Nations Cups as well in the past. Just thinking about this plank coming out of here. Ah, it was fine.
Now it comes to triple.
Yeah, the questions do come at you quite quickly in this one.
Well done.
That's that one.
Yeah.
But we'll come back with the first ride, so.
The FEI Oxer. And again, the skinny one.
Just getting a little bit long and a little bit flat there. But Sophia is an experienced athlete. She's had some great horses over the years. You see her just giving that horse a pat. We've got to remember as well that every horse that we've seen here is all at a kind of different level of training. They've all had a different, you know, time over Christmas and New Year. This might be its first time out, so there was a lot to like in there today. Again, just all about that canter. Arturo Parada Vallejo next up then here in this first round. Chica BZ, 14-year-old mare. Got some Berlin lines with this horse. He's really been building his string and working hard.
Well, he's training many young riders like Jose Saavedra, the one that won yesterday. He's part of his team. And also Carlos Rodolfo Molina is part of his team. And many other young riders.
And that does add some pressure on at the horse show as well, because not only are you thinking about your own kind of start times and, you know, getting those horses ready, you're also thinking about your pupils as well.
Yep. The vertical on the double combinations.
Not a bad round, just finishes on the 4 faults, 78.36.
Well, right now he's in rank number 12.
So he would get some prize money, but I think he's going to stay there. It almost looked like his saddle slipped forward a little bit actually in there.
Yep.
Francisco Pascal comes next. Of course, we saw his son a little bit earlier. Elivo. It's Fran's ride in this one. A 10-year-old by Diamond de Semele, out of a Kidam de Revel mare, so you know, really bred to jump this horse.
Well, Francisco's already on the jump off with Naranjo. He's looking for a second spot with Olivo.
He had to work quite hard there, just keep him nice and straight into the first.
As I was saying, he won on Friday the 145 open class.
Jumped some nice rounds last week, just setting up for this, but again, real committed line down there. It looks like there's a bit of space to make a correction before the plank, but actually there's, you know, just not. You can pull all you like, and already that fence is there before you know it.
He's going to retire.
But he's a great ambassador for show jumping here in Mexico, and just not his day today. But of course already through with one, as you said, so we'll see him with Naranjo a little bit later. Getting down to about the final 10 or 11 left here in round number 1. 9 going through to that jump off at this stage. Rafael Augusto Uria de Barrios next. Damien Mansell. 10-year-old mare by Calvaro. Another reminder, if you want to follow the live results, you want to find the start list, the course plan, all that good stuff is available on longinetiming.com. Just find the Puebla show, click on Sunday, and then you'll find the class and all the information there. It's the same course plan on there as the riders get to look at as well, so if you want to see what that looks like, longinetiming.com is the place to go.
Well, here is Rafael Oler de Barros from Brazil, riding Dudu Mesni.
Brazil's created some good riders over the years. Some good results on the international stage. to international competition with this rider. This is they're like first or second class together. So you're not doing a bad job at all. I think that might have stayed up. He gave it a good rattle, but it's still in the cups. So it's just going to finish on 4:79.33 and 4 faults along the way for Rafael, and Mensel finishes on the 4. Still on those 9 clears.
Yes, 10 left to go.
Since we've had that break, it seems hard to find the clears.
Yeah.
Francisco Leonforte is next. The 11-year-old mare, Santa Rosa y Alta, represents Argentina. Guys at this end of the draw have had a nice relaxing afternoon. They've been able to, sit and have lunch and watch a few before they even went to get tacked up. Little rattle on that plank. There's a nice breeze coming across the arena now. The conditions are actually pretty perfect.
Last October they won the 140 open class in Guapex Pen. I think I have another good result in La Silla in November, 3rd place in a 2-star competition. Almost there. One more.
He's given us a real stellar ride all the way round, and he is going to jump clear today. Francisco Leonforte, 80.22, and it's clear.
Well, you asked for a clear.
There you go. Now we've got it.
You got it.
Nice round 10. That's what we're up to at this stage. Still think we'll get up to 12. Could be wrong. We'll wait and see.
Well, now we have Fabián Sejanes from Argentina coming back, now riding Tempo.
It's a 12-year-old, this one. Fabian we've seen on many occasions, it would seem, this afternoon with his string. He's just saying that plank is sitting precariously on the edge of the cup, and it's bad enough when it's in the middle. I think that's a good tip as well, for those riders that are watching. If there is a plank or something really delicate, you can't really look at the whole course. But planks like that, you always just want to have a quick ride past and make sure it is sitting in the centre, because all you have to do is breathe on those and they come down. Delicate planks are a real pain if it's a windy day. But the course designers can actually put vet wrap, which is a kind of cohesive bandage that you use for keeping like wound dressings and stuff in place. You can wrap them around the cups on a windy day. You can even put a bit of tape around the top, because it's still very knockable. And it'll still come down, it'll break the tape.
I didn't know that.
There you go, fun fact.
Fun fact. Good to know. You always learn something new.
Lucky. Come on, Fabian. Making a good job. Time should be be okay. She's got to keep moving forward. Come on. Yes, he's done it. 81.18, clear all the way.
So there we have 11 combinations for the jump off, and still 8 more to go. Next one on the course is Valeria de Leon Gonzalez, riding Lerenko van Kievelt.
Yeah, Van Kielveld, 12-year-old mare. Got some blue boy lines in this one.
They finished second on Friday on the 145 decent heat here in Puebla. So I think she's looking to repeat that podium.
Yeah, she'd be one of the favourites coming into today. If she can go clear, she knows she's got some quick ones to jump off against.
Nope. We have the first one, yeah. No.
Goes in there with lots of power, and they just overcooked that line a little bit. Just carrying quite a lot of energy into these lines. Valeria's, taking the checks, but the horse just not coming back to her as much as she perhaps would like. Going to be a 12 total on this occasion, 76, 6, 7 and 12 there for Valeria de Leon Gonzalez. Getting down towards the business end here in the first round, about 6 or 7 left to see. Then we're off to the races with that jump off against the clock still to come here in Puebla. If you've tuned in a little bit late, then this is a 1m45 competition, jump off format, as you probably gather by now. So we will be going to a jump off against the clock. And again, don't forget, we're keeping an eye on YouTube and Facebook, the live chat's there. So if you want to add a comment, good luck message to any of the riders, or just tell us where you're watching from, then of course you can do that as well. Another quite experienced partnership. They've been together quite a while, and this horse is 16 years of age. It's called Triban Dulanatria. This is Carlota Leschman de Presvion Denier from Mexico. Again, she felt she had quite a lot of energy coming in, and she landed over the ox, so you could hear her saying whoa, you could see her taking a check, and she's going to have to be lucky through here. She made a good correction actually coming in. There's still quite a lot of power. It's quite a nice feeling when you've got a horse that takes you to the fence, but not when it's, pulling you past that distance that you think that you want to have. It looks like it's just kind of been a bit grabby with its bit as well, kind of grabbing the bit and pulling its head down, kind of saying get off. And then she has to work to keep it calm and controlled, otherwise it gets a little bit long like that. Yeah, so a couple down, 81.57 the time here in the first round, and will leave us on 8. That was Carlota Leschman de Presvion Denier and Triban Dulanatria. Manuel Gonzalez de Frayne still got another one. Luis Alejandro Plasencia to come back. Manuel Senderos is in there as well. So, a few big names still to feature here in the first round. Claudia Michel's next. 13-year-old mare by Clinton. This one out of a Diamond de Semele mare, Angela.
This is her second horse. that got result with the first one. Let's see if we can give us a clear round.
She moved up to that one, but it does make this line a little bit more difficult. We saw great adjustability there. And I think that's one of the top ingredients that you look for, especially when you jump this level or higher. You need that adjustability. You put your leg on, they go forward, you take a touch on the rein, they come back to you. I think she's ridden quite a reactive round so far. You know, she can really feel when it's going a little bit too forward or she needs a bit more energy, and she reacts quite quickly. Just the 4:77.20, no issues with the time, but just one rail comes down today on course for Claudia and Angela de Crisquier. See her coming in here and just catches that behind. Horse has got plenty of scope and overall quite adjustable.
Okay, here is Juan Jose Salinas with Corona set.
This is a horse that Marc Delassar of France used to compete over on the European circuit. We saw him jump some nice rounds at Saint-Tropez a couple of years ago. Juan Jose took over the ride, I think it was about October, it was certainly the autumn time back in 2021. And he's put in some good performances. Mainly around this level, you know, somewhere between 135 and 145 is where this horse has kind of been sitting over the last year or so. Comes towards the inside and it's a bit of a wiggle to get organised. If the time allowed was more lenient, we wouldn't really see them turn in like that, but I think that's what's on the back of their mind, just being home within that time allowed. So that's why they're choosing that inside wiggly route round to the triple combination. As well, 82.95, so 4 jumping, 1 time to lift 5 there for Juan Jose and Corona Z. Not many left to come now.
I think there are 4 more to go.
4 left, yeah.
More left.
Some nice ones though.
Well, we are going to see Ignacio Maurin from Argentina. I don't know how to pronunciate the name of the horse. I'm not sure. Jebel du Clofier.
Well, I think that was close enough.
Okay.
Jebel de Clofier, I think it is.
Okay. Well, wasn't that bad.
But if I tried the rider name, I mean, I would do worse with that. So that's why we make such a good team. This is a 10-year-old mare. Got Diamond Dissemily lines. There's 10 years old. Another one that's fairly new, or low mileage for its age actually. Juan Carlos before coming here this week, or it was Juan Carlos, Martin Del Campo I should say, that had this, and only jumped 1 FEI competition before it went over to Ignacio. So really still getting to know each other on the international stage. I'm sure they've done some national competitions together. Becomes a bit of a fact-finding mission, you know, seeing what stage the horse is at, what they're going to work on before they come back into the ring next time. did settle down towards the end there, getting some good performance, but just picks up a couple of time faults in there as well. So 16 is going to be the total for them. The Red Rovers on YouTube and asking who gets the prize money, owner or rider. Well, normally each individual owner and rider have an agreement depending on the horse. You know, some of the riders will own the horses. More often than not, they have an owner. Perhaps they've got a share in the horse. And then obviously a decision's made and they have a contract. So it kind of depends. For every single horse, it'll be slightly different. Manuel Senderos next with Dinard. 11-year-old gelding, this one. Manuel's certainly well travelled. I've seen him out and about on the international circuit. Quite a big horse, quite a scopy horse. Quite a traditional stamp, this one. And I think Manuel does a good job of just keeping that kind of big loping canter quite kind of short and balanced for the size of the horse. Big long legs. And he put a little bit of an angle in there, and that was just good to give him more room. Now, if you've got a related distance and you think it's a little bit short for your horse, you can put a bit of an angle in, and that just opens up the distance slightly. You can use that as an excuse if you ride at home and your trainer's telling you always have to be straight. You can say, I was just putting in a bit of an angle to get some more distance. Seems like the perfect excuse. Manuel's had this ride for quite a while. Nicola Heinross before him. Patricio Pascal had this a couple of years ago. But they've been knocking on the door for a clear round recently.
Whoops.
He was knocking on that rail, but it stayed up. Gonna jump this. Yeah,
And
good
we
job.
have another clear round.
And he'll be happy with that because he's been jumping some really nice rounds, but just having the odd rail here and there. So to come in today and jump a clear, he'll be happy. And he does do a very good job of just keeping that horse nice and light through the front end, keeping the energy contained.
So there we have 12 to the jump. Your first, the first number you said.
There you go. See? It's luck. It's all luck. Well, I'm sure Luis Alejandro Plasencia would disagree with me, though, and say we're going to get 13. Because he'd like to be there with this one. It's by Virial Zarocco Blue out of a numero uno mare. This is Jump Star. It's a 9-year-old mare. He's just getting himself organised. And for those that are new to the sport, when they get the bell, they've then got 45 seconds to cross the start line. If they don't, then the clock starts automatically. And then if they still don't, with another 45 seconds, then they're eliminated. Quite often in big open arenas, sometimes they are crossing either just on the end of their countdown or maybe 1 or 2 seconds over. It's a nice type, this one. It's got all the ingredients. Come on, Luis. Wait.
One more. The time is not going to be.
Should be okay for the time.
Yeah. And there we go.
Yeah, nice job. Luis Alejandro Plasencia goes through with Jump Star. So up to 13 we go.
0 puntos dentro del tiempo. Luis Alejandro número 13 al desempate.
Still, we still have
En
two
la
more to
pista,
go.
último participante de este
One
primer
is
recorrido, Manuel González, que monta Martiales.
Manuel Gonzalez riding Martiales. They finished yesterday on the Grand Prix on the second place with Hortensia. We finished at second place with Hortensia. And they both win last year World Cup.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So yeah, a young rider that is doing great. He was part of the Mexican team last year. He went to Tokyo, and he also was part of the team that won the Challenge Cup in Barcelona at the Nations Cup.
Yeah, he's a real nice, talented rider.
Yes.
And we've got so many going through, so if you are on Facebook or YouTube Live and you think you know who might win, if you've got any favourites you want to tell us about, then feel free to pop that in the comments box below. But we could end up with one or two more going through. Not this one though, there's that plank again.
I think he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That horse has got plenty of experience in the ring, and as soon as you have a rail in this competition today, you know you're out of contention, you're not going to pick up any prize money. And these horses have only got so many jumps in them, so great horseman there decides to retire. Now it looks like that is the end of the first round as well. We must have had one withdrawal. And this is who's heading through to that jump off against the clock. This is your clear round. You've got John Perez in there, Juan Carlos Martin del Campo, Claret Vize Alza Campos, Nicolas Pizarro. Also we got on there Francisco Pascal's got one, Fabian Sejanes is going to be busy, Manuel Senderos, Sofia Larea, all quick riders actually. And I think those coming earlier are going to be thinking about people like Luis Alejandro Plasencia that ends up jumping last in that jump off. They want to try and put as much pressure on as they can, and almost kind of dare those ones that are coming later to make a bit of a mistake. So we are just going to take a very short pause. We can see our course design team is already underway. They're going to be changing the course for this jump off against the clock. And then we're off to the races. But Marina Azevedo is our course designer. She's going to be building a championships here later in the year. And she's the only Olympic level 4 female course designer in the world. Fun fact. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube Live, if you think you know who is going to take the win, then just pop that in the comments box below. Also, if you've got any questions, anything you want to ask, you can pop that in there as well. It'd be great to hear from you as we get set for our jump off here in Puebla. It shouldn't take too long to get this course organised. They've got a great ring crew here. And a ring this size, the course designer, Marina, her job is really to make sure everything is set as she wanted it to be. So all the ring crew will have a course plan. She's then got an assistant out there on course as well, you know, who really can help her. Mauricio Garcia, he's an FEI level 3 course designer in his own right. He's built lots of international competitions, so it's great for Marina to have you know, someone like Mauricio out there. Then Fernandez of Mexico, another level 3 course designer. He's out there too. Then there's the ring crew. And you can see that's Robbie moving the timing. He's part of the Longines timing team, the title partner and sponsor of the World Cup series. So here are all the World Cup shows. And if you missed the World Cup yesterday, don't forget, look out for some highlights. If you are in the US or North America, The highlights will be on CBS Sports over the next couple of days, but I know Eurosport do take over in Europe and various other channels around the world. Or of course on FEI TV, you can catch up any time. But do look out for those TV highlights of yesterday's World Cup. I won't tell you who won because that would be a bit of a spoiler, but it was a real interesting course. I will tell you we only ended up with one clear. I don't think that's a secret by now, because it doesn't happen too often, but sometimes that makes it really interesting actually, you know, more interesting than having 20 clears or whatever. So yeah, it was a real interesting one. And a bit of behind the scenes gossip for you as well. So after the World Cup finishes, there's a press conference at every single one. So I hosted the press conference and I ask all the riders a question, and then we open it up to the press. And then afterwards I suggested that perhaps it would be a good idea if we started a new tradition here in Puebla and threw our winner in the swimming pool that was right next to where we were having the press conference. So our winner got wet yesterday following the press conference in all his riding stuff as well. If you want to see that, I did post a video on my Instagram, so if you search for Adam Cromarty, you'll be able to see my reel there of when we threw him in the pool. I won't tell you who it is, and if you don't want to know who won the World Cup, probably don't look at that unless you can identify him or something. But we are getting ready for that jump off against the clock. I'll talk you around the course when we get that first one through as well. Judy B's watching in Florida. Good to have you watching, Judy. Going to be an exciting jump off. Ekran says, when will it start? It should only be a couple of minutes now, actually. They're just kind of making those final preparations. Marina making sure everything is where it should be. But you don't want to disappear because it's going to be once it starts, it's going to be a fast jump off. Even though there's 13 in there, it'll be like 15 minutes and done. So it's well worth hanging on to see who's going to be crowned our winner here, this 145 competition. And once again, a huge big thank you to everyone who has been getting involved. Grace asking what height are these jumps? They're 1.45 meters. There will be a couple that are a touch bigger going forward through into this jump off. Diane's watching in north-southwest Australia. Trina says, I'm just missing Connor Swale. Well, I reckon he might be at the next leg. The next leg of the World Cup takes us to Ocala in Florida in March. And then, of course, you'll definitely see him at World Cup finals. He's already earned his ticket to go there to Omaha, Nebraska at the beginning of April. And if you can come and join us in Omaha, Nebraska for World Cup finals, it's well worth doing. Mary's just joined us in New Zealand. Well, you've missed the first round, Mary. Where have you been? But don't worry, exciting jump off to follow. So you've actually joined at a very good time. Sarah's watching in Orlando. Love Orlando. Love a bit of Universal. Yeah, good to have you watching from around the world as we get set and ready for this jump off against the clock. Mary Legs and me saying she's literally mucking out her pony stable whilst watching this. Well, muck out faster, because you're going to want to watch every second of it when we get to that jump off. Because those ones coming early are going to have to add so much pressure on for those later riders. I want to dare them to make a silly mistake. Rebecca Komaska, I hope I pronounced that properly, Rebecca, is watching in snowy Michigan. A lot of horse sport in Michigan these days with the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival. Maria's watching in Munich in Germany. Just tuning in. Lucy says she has to go. Go before the jump off. Where are you off to, Lucy? And Lily's watching in Minnesota. It's like a lesson in geography watching this. And Kaya's watching in Washington State. Lisa's in South Africa. Mia says, my horses are waiting for their food. She can see them from the window. Well, you should have ran out when we were changing the course, Mia. But within 15 minutes, you'll know who's won, and then you'll be out there feeding. MC November Girls watching in Raleigh in North Carolina. The final tractor action taking place. And then we're set and ready to get underway. But the attention to detail here really is second to none. And a great ring crew as well. They put in so much hard work. And a bit of water going on that sand surface as well, because it is kind of warm and dry here, and that kind of slight breeze as well can just dry out the surfaces. And they want to make sure, you know, everything is absolutely perfect, because we know the horses are going to be going fast across the ground, and they're also going to be turning quite tightly. And these artificial surfaces, they want to replicate grass as much as you can, so you want that feeling that you've got support when you're trying to turn, you know, the foot doesn't move away from you. Rennie's joined us watching in Harnett County. Carmi's watching in Alberta, Canada. I love going to Alberta. I go to Spruce Meadows during the summer and then back in September. I've never been in the winter though, and I've seen pictures of friends there, and they've got lots of snow, like lots of feet of snow. So I hope you're not too cold, Carmi. That's hospitality, and it really is full from morning all the way through till after competition. And the food at these shows is excellent. Not that I'm very adventurous with my Mexican cuisine, but like a plain cheese quesadilla or something I can just about do. Tacos on a very adventurous day.
Have you tried mole poblano?
I wouldn't know if I had. That sounds very Mexican. I wouldn't be able to ask for it. What is it?
Well, mole is one of the most complicated dishes
Okay.
from Mexican cuisine. It's made up of more than 40 ingredients, and it's a pretty old recipe from, I think, the Revolution or something. Like, it's an old recipe. But Puebla is really famous for it. So you're going to find, they say that mole poblano is one of the best moles in Mexico. It's quite spicy. It's also a little bit hot, but also sweet, because it has chocolate in it.
Okay.
So next time you come to Puebla, I promise I'm going to take you to try mole poblano. Sounds
nice. I had a very Mexican dish last night at the hotel. I had chicken tenders and fries.
Oh, right, really Mexican. Yeah.
It's really what Puebla is known for.
Okay. Well, I think we're almost there. Let's recap. We have 13 combinations for the jump off. I think it's going to be a fast jump off, and we're going to see a lot of action here. We have really good riders.
Yeah, there are some very fast ones in there.
Yep.
This is just a taste on your screen now of, you know, the setting that we have around us. Right up on the top of the hill. I think we're actually higher than the volcano.
No.
No?
No.
Looks like it.
Primer participante en este desempate del clásico patrocinado por Universidad Anáhuac Puebla. John Pérez que monta Gigi Carmen.
So having a look at that turn. That's fence 4 he was looking at there. They come from fence 1. Round to 4, and it's a real kind of tight rollback. You want to save up as much time as possible. So I think he was just showing the horse there, so it didn't come as a surprise when it arrived there quite quickly. Right, let's take a look at this jump-off course. So we start over that new fence. It's the Oxer fence 15, down towards the in-out gate end of the arena. It's these lions. A little rub there. Now we're down to fence number 1. It kind of comes straight down that line. Slight bend in it. And this is the turn we were talking about. It's left-handed rollback, and this is where you can really save some seconds early in the course. And then from here we head down towards fence number 5. That's the Oxer, the Liverpool. Then it's 7BC. Final 2 parts of the triple combination from the first round. And we continue on round towards fence 8. Again, you want to just be nice and tight, nice and tidy through here. And then we're going to finish over 9B, second part of the double. And there we go. That's what the jump-off has in store. 39.33, double clear today for John Perez. Does set a standard for us as well, 39.33. I think you'll be quite happy with that. You know, nice forward rhythm, good economic turns. Having a look at the start list, I think there's a couple that can come tighter to fence 4.
Yes, well, he's establishing the timing 39.33. I think there are a couple of combinations that can improve that time, but as we all know, everything can happen here.
Yeah, it's risk and reward. Sometimes you can go faster, but then you risk having a rail, so we'll wait and see. Juan Carlos, Martin Del Campo and Dimitri, first one to take on the challenge, but the news that they have to be clear will filter backstage quite quickly, and also that now they really have to get their foot down. And how tight you ride around here will depend on the horse you've got as well. You know, if you're on a younger horse or one that's had a little bit of time off or it's just stepping up, you really wouldn't want to sort of turn too tight in that rollback that he's had a rail now. And this jump off, if you've had a rail, I think it's worth taking that extra risk because you know how many there are in it anyway. All these horses at different stages in their competition calendar and their training, so we will see different plans along the way. 42.93, and again just that one fence coming down for Juan Carlos Martin Del Campo of Mexico. See this rail here, that's the new first fence. You know, a lot to like about that horse, just not his day.
Well, as we were saying, he's just coming back from...
That's right.
And he said he wasn't here last week, so this is his first week riding, coming back from the holidays and everything, so...
I don't think he'll be too disappointed.
Yeah.
Clareville Isa Campos next to go with Inca van Kieselhoff. Represents Mexico. 39.33 time to beat.
Let's see if she can beat the time established by the Colombian rider.
This is a turn where you really want to use your upper body. You know, you want to be looking round, getting your inside shoulder back, your outside shoulder forward, and keeping those shoulders parallel with the horse's shoulders. I think that's what we're going to see, and that can really help, you know, in those rollback turns. She's keeping that forward rhythm. 10 seconds to get home. Got to really push on down here. Come on. Oh, gets in too deep.
Too deep.
39.05. She catches the time. And you know, that's what I mentioned about risk and reward. She knew if she wanted to take on the challenge of John Perez, she needed to get a bit of welly on down there. But then, that's what happened. She ended up taking the rail. If she'd just taken a check, she wouldn't have, but then she wouldn't be ahead. And it's all a lot of what ifs and maybes. But she gave the horse a great ride there. And you could see that little look of frustration, and she knew exactly what had happened. Nicolas Pizarro should be one to watch, actually. Conquer Pasilla represents Mexico. Very competitive athlete. Let's see what his plan is today.
I think he's gonna go all the way through to try to move John Perez from his position, but we'll see. He has 2 horses to the jump off.
It's quite tiny through here. And then catches the front rail. See what he does with his second ride when he comes back. But at the moment, you know, fast 4 still good enough for second. And I do think it's worth, you know, depending on what you're sitting on. If you have an early rail, just go a little bit faster. But we've got to leave them up as well. 40.88 the time. Going to be second fastest of the 3 on 4 faults, so heads into 3rd place there, Nicolas Pizarro. First of 2 rides that he'll be bringing forward here. And a little bit frustrating there for Nico.
Okay. Next on the list is Alberto Sanchez Cosar, riding Unión de la Nutria.
This is going to be an interesting one, this next partnership, because it's you know, a real experienced one. And that horse can turn. These are great jump standards, these were in the World Cup yesterday. They're a bit of a turning point today, but they're in the ring. And it's after the Night of the Dead, or the...
Yes. Yeah. The Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead.
I knew they were dead. I just couldn't remember whether it was night or day.
No, it's the day.
And I think so many people know that now from the Disney film.
Yeah, Coco made it, well, first James Bond.
Oh yeah, right enough.
With,
yeah.
with the movie.
Yeah, Live and Let Die or something.
Yep. And then Coco. Disney with Coco, yeah.
And now when you walk through Mexico Airport, you know, there's stores there with lots of those as souvenirs that you can take home. This is Alberto Sanchez Cosar, Unión de la Nutria, as we mentioned, an experienced partnership, a horse that can turn, one that really covers the ground as well.
Okay, I think there he goes.
Grace on Facebook saying she loves jump off, so excited to see how this ends. Us too.
I think this is going to be a fast course. Let's see.
That variety we had in the first round continues to the jump off. We've still got those younger horses and the ones that aren't really going to be going for broke, but you can see the pace that he's building, you know, right up to that first fence, because the jump off starts, you know, at the timers, not at jump 1. So you've got to have that forward pace. He didn't really lose much pace as he made the turn. Oh, but it comes down on the back rail. And for me, I think that rollback is going to be the most interesting part of the jump off. Everywhere else, you know, you can get quite tight, you can open up or whatever, but for me, that rollback turn's the bit that takes the riding. Uh, 71. I mean, he caught the time. Time was faster.
Yes, it's the fastest 4.
So we know now that the time can be beaten, but can they do it and leave the rails up? That's the big question. Alberto Sanchez Cosar, the very nice Unión de la Nutria, finishes on the 4.
Well, here we have Luis Gerardo Castañeda with Shakira. And as I was saying first, this is a fast combination.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Taka is a fast rider, so I think, and you can see it. As you were saying, that you prepare it.
No. You get that pace in advance.
Yeah.
A few people asking if we've got a clear. We have. We've got one clear. John Perez, 39.33 to beat. I think that was the kind of tidiest we've seen that rollback. And you can also see that forward momentum. He didn't lose much speed in the turn. That's one thing you've got to watch for in those rollback turns. It's already well been tight, but not if you then lose all your momentum and you're not going forward. You still need the energy and the engine, you know, coming from behind, moving forward. Oh, yeah, this is going to be faster. If he jumps this, he goes into the lead.
Oh,
but it comes
God.
down. 37.06. He's looking back. He can't believe it. The final fence falls there, but look at the time. 37.06. He smashed the time. And I bet he's thinking, actually, I could have taken a check down there. But it's the easiest place to write here in the commentary booth. So when you're out there, you know, you're not always aware just how far in front you are.
That's for sure.
So he is in second at the moment. Alberto Sanchez-Gozar goes to third. John Perez only clear after 6, still leading at this stage. I mean, I think November Girl sums it up on YouTube. She says, rats. Absolutely. I'm sure that's what he was thinking as well. Sofia Lorea is next with Zoran for Mexico. Another one that's, you know, been out on teams. Having a look around again, just reminding herself of that plan. She spent a little bit of time there just organising the canter. You saw her kind of do the change and make sure the horse was listening to her. Then she picks up the forward momentum, and then we're off and running. See how she rides this. So she goes wide, but she keeps moving forward. And that comes down to the horse, doesn't it? The horse you're on, whether it, you know, it can make those really tight turns. Just wasted a little bit of time in that turn. 39.
2 more.
33 to beat. Comes down to the last. Not going to be quite quick enough, but if she goes clear, she's into second.
And there she goes.
41.83 heads into second place. Sofia Lorea and Zoran goes second. Pushes those on 4 down into third, the fastest 4 into third place. But John Perez still holding on to that lead, 39.33. And I think Sofia will be very happy with that round. You know, the horse jumped its heart out. Maybe wasted a little bit of time in a couple of the turns, but, you know, overall, great try. But 39.33, still the time that we're focused on. Francisco Pascal goes next, Naranjo. This is a real experienced partnership. We've seen this horse jump well in World Cups in the past.
And as I already said, they won on Friday, the same class. So
that gives you some confidence coming in for sure.
Yes. And they can be fast, so
hold on to your hats.
Yes.
Looks like he's going for it today. I've never seen Fran ride for second, to be honest. He's always
he's always for the win. Yeah. Okay.
Not today though. But again, you know, fast 4 falter could get you in third at the moment, and that was really kind of tidy and clean and kept moving forward. So fastest 4 fault round is 37.06, so that's the time he's got to focus on now, and that'll take some catching.
I think it's a tough time to beat.
It's not too far away, not going to be quite quick enough to be the fastest 4 faulter though. 39.11 is the time, finishes on the 4, heads into 6th place. Kind of middle of the pack on the 4 fault rounds there, into 6th at the moment. Only 5 or 6 left to come here in the jump off though.
5 more to come in.
Really like that horse.
Yeah. Naranjo is a beautiful horse.
Well, John Perez is going to be nervous somewhere because he's kind of led the way for so long now. I wonder if he's watching or whether he's hiding somewhere. 39.33, time to beat. Fabian Sahanis is next with Temple.
And Sejanes from Argentina.
Guerrero Bonnie's watching on YouTube and says his favourite is Nicolas Pizarro, who's still got another one to come. Rennie says Pizarro is good. There you go. He's got some fans out there today.
Well, he's really good. He's the best ranked Mexican rider.
Yeah, but don't tell him.
No, this is just between us.
Come on, Fabian. Let's see how you're going to do this turn. He executed it quite well. He had to take a little check to rebalance, but that's better than the rail.
Well, I think he has to push more right now because of the time, but
Okay, 39.33, so not going to be quite fast enough. Again, a good round could put you into third place. If you can just leave this up, you're into third. Yeah, done that. 46.16. Into third place for now. Fabian Sejanes there. Argentina.
0 puntos,
Temple.
46-16 para Fabián Sejane.
This is an interesting jump off because I think it actually depends on the type of horse you've got as to how successful you can be. You know, if you really need a horse that can turn.
okay.
You'd want a speedy little horse that can kind of turn on a sixpence, 2 strides out and jump over fence 4. I think that would win it for you. If you've not got that, then you've got to look for the areas to really kind of get your leg on and push forward. But we'll see how it plays out. Not many left to come now. 4 left to feature. And this is Nicolas Pizarro. A few people on YouTube live chat shouting for this one today.
Riding Atlantica du Soleil set.
Come on, Nico.
And we see he went to the third obstacle, the number 4.
Just
The
check
one,
it out.
yeah, the one full in his first round.
You can see him really turning his head, using that upper body, keeps moving forward. Get up, and now go. I think that's how you want to ride that turn. He's got to be on the time.
Yeah.
39.33. So he's got about 10 seconds to get home. Now he has to take the handbrake off. Pushes on down to this final fence. If he jumps this, he's into the leads. Oh, lucky. He's done it. 36.93.
The same numbers almost.
He's
Just twist.
straight towards the top of our leaderboard there. Nicolas Pizarro takes over the top honours at this stage, pushes long-time leader Jean Perez down to second place, and Sofia Larea heads into third. Really twisted through the air there. But a nice round from Nico, and that sets a new standard, 36.93. Fastest time we've seen, even with those having a rail. Nico was still faster, so that's really going to add the pressure on. Francisco Leonforte is next with Santa Rosa Yalta. Another one just checking out those turns.
Yep. And I was saying that Castañeda's time was tough, but no, Nico.
He just didn't really have to take a pull at any point. The horse could keep moving forward and turn and do everything else. Nothing really you can do from 15 down to that fence. This is where the options start to come at you. Not quite as slick as Nico, but almost. Goes a little bit wider here. Opens up. Then just has a bit more of a considered approach. He had to then gather things back up, but it doesn't pay off, has that rail. Too far away time-wise, 39.63, so the time itself would have been good enough to head into third place, but that rail very costly, pushes him all the way down into 9th. Just a couple remain.
2 more to go. Dun, 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 dun.
The drama builds. I wouldn't be too nervous if I was Nico, though, looking at the time he's just came home in. Got a couple of fast ones at the end, so it's certainly not over by any stretch. But Nico Pizarro knows he's going to be on the podium today. Manuel Senderos next and second last with Dinar. And just using that time in the arena just to have a quick look around, make those plans. Down here, not too much you can do. Let's see how he's
Let's
going
see
to
the round, yeah. Sure.
A couple of strides wider. And Nico was really slick here. He could keep moving forward. He didn't really have to take a check and set up. And Manuel's not that far away. 36.93. Everyone's shouting go, which is great advice. And he seems to... Oh! It was terrible advice. Again, time-wise, good enough for second if that rail had stayed up, 38.97. But the rail pushes him from second down into 7th place. I think he just came off his plan a little bit when he came down that line. He thought, I'm in with a shot here, I'm just going to go.
And here's the last one, Luis Alejandro Plasencia with Jump Start.
Do you think he can do it?
Yep. Well, I think he can get into the podium. Maybe
Okay.
Nico's time is quite tough, but everything can happen. It will be great for Nico. Nico won the Grand Prix last week in these same class, Classic. So
I'm not sure Luis would agree with you. I think he'd rather it was him.
well, you said there were going to be 12 and that he wouldn't agree to be the
Okay.
number 13,
Well,
so
there you go.
we have a tie here.
I think Nico's pretty safe though. I mean, Luis is doing a very good job with this horse. Again, all these horses at different kind of stages in their career and what they've been doing recently. So, you know, Luis isn't slow by any stretch, but he's not going to catch Nico. He's not far away. Oh, catches that rail. And the time would have probably put him into second. We'll have a look. 39.92. I would have gone third actually, that one. But that rail, costly once again, heads down into 11th place. Into 11th there for Luis Alejandro Plasencia of Mexico. But a great round there from Nicolas Pizarro. He should be very, very happy with that.
I think he will. He's going to be really, really happy with this. Well, yeah, Nico Pizarro, first place, 36.93. Then John Perez from Colombia with Gigi Carmen, 39.33.
And that's quite a gap in international show jumping. You know, things are sometimes won by 1/100th of a second. So, I mean, that was a real, real fast round there from Nicolas Pizarro. Faster than needed to, but at the time you don't know that because you had some fast ones behind him.
Well, Luis Gerardo Castañeda was 37.06.
So he was kind of knocking on that door with a rail.
Yeah. And I'm sure that going from number 4 to 5, like that rollback. No, the rollback, and then the next one.
And then the next
that
one.
he was.
He got a good angle.
He got a good angle on it, yeah. And he never stopped. Like.
And that helped him
Yeah.
turn to the next one,
Yeah.
I think.
I think he won time there.
Yeah. And I don't think there was anything else he could have done if there was someone that was faster. I think he pulled out all the stops there.
Yep.
So he should be very happy. And he will be crowned our winner. Congratulations to Nicolas Pizarro. Takes that win in 36.93. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone as well who has been joining in with the conversation on YouTube and Facebook. The ring's getting cleared at the moment. We're getting set for the prize giving ceremony. And of course, we'll be back here in Puebla next year for the same World Cup event. World Cup was yesterday. If you missed it, it's available to watch, of course, on FEI TV and across the world on TV highlights. So make sure you watch out for those. And if you want to catch up on this class, it's available on YouTube and Facebook. You can always rewind it later on if there's anything that you missed. But it's an amazing time in Mexico because there's so many shows out there.
Yeah, keep a track. Adam, it was great to join you today.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you for the invitation. Hope to see you soon.
Soon, somewhere.
Somewhere. If not, see you here next year. I'm going to take a few pictures of the prize-giving ceremony. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone that joined us today. It was great to see people from all around the world watching and putting their eyes on Mexico's competition today.
Yeah, absolutely. Great competition here in Puebla. And a great win there for Nicolas Pizarro, a man that we see literally all over the world, but on home soil here in Mexico. But once again, a huge thank you to everyone who's got involved with the conversation. Always good to hear what you guys think as well. And, you know, all those questions that came in were fantastic. Yeah, so we'll see you back here in Puebla next year. But for those that are following the World Cup circuit, our next stop on the tour is going to be in live Ocala, and it's the final qualifier before the World Cup finals that will take us to the USA this time. We're going to Nebraska, to Omaha, that hosted it a few years ago, and the atmosphere there was absolutely electric. Again, if you missed that World Cup yesterday, then it is available to watch on demand on FEI TV, and of course those highlights around the world on television, so make sure you check that out. And just in case you joined late on, I mentioned earlier that following that World Cup we had the press conference, and then we started a new tradition. I said jokingly we should throw him in the pool that was next to where we had the press conference. Turns out the riders didn't think I was joking, picked him up in his ride and stuff and threw him in. And if you want to have a look at that, it's on my Instagram. I put a reel up yesterday, so you can just check out Adam Cromarty on Instagram and you'll be able to see that. Right, that's your lot from us. They're getting set for the prize-giving ceremony. If you want to stay and watch that, then that would be fantastic. We'll hand over to the arena announcers for that. But I've been Adam Cromarty. Great to have you alongside me, and I'll speak to you again very soon.
Gents, this is the moment you've waited for. Been searching in the dark, guess what's soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. Your fever dream, can't you see?
Vamos a iniciar con esta premiación del Clásico Jinetes. Se pueden acercar, por favor. Quinto lugar para México, Luis Gerardo Castañeda, que montó Shakira. Cuarto lugar para Argentina, Fabián Cejanes, que montó Temple.
Zanahorias feliz.
Va directo.
Feliz.
Fabián, felicidades.
Muchísimas gracias.
Muy buena pista.
¿Puedo hacer así contigo y después lo dejo? Porque me va a perder. Muchísimas gracias. Ya está.
Tercer lugar y nos vamos al podium para México, Sofía Larrea, que montó Zorrán. Ah. Sofía, te pedimos te desmontes para pasar al podio de ganadores. Segundo lugar para Colombia, John Pérez que montó Gigi Carmen.
Gracias. Es medio especial ella. Muchas felicidades. Gracias.
John, te pedimos te desmontes para pasar al podio. Y el primer lugar de este clásico, Universidad Anahuac, Puebla, es para México. Nicolás Pizarro que montó Atlántica du Soleil. Nicolás, ganador del Gran Premio y del Clásico la semana pasada aquí en Quintas Ecuestres.
¿Cómo estás? Qué gusto saludarte.
Ya quedamos, ¿verdad?
Ya, seguro armamos eso, seguro. Aparte, más que contento.
No, y además qué alegría que se lo
Sí, gracias.
Le vamos a pedir a Nicolás se desmonte para pasar al podio. Ya están los tres ganadores en el podium y le vamos a pedir al público nos acompañe de pie para entonar el himno nacional en honor a Nicolás Pizarro, ganador de esta prueba. Hacemos la entrega de trofeos a estos tres ganadores de manos de el señor José Mata, rector de la Universidad Anahuac, Puebla. Para Nicolás Pizarro, John Pérez y Sofía Larrea.
Muchísimas gracias.
Tenemos la foto del recuerdo de este clásico aquí en Quintas Ecuestres. Alcen sus trofeos, jinetes, para la foto del recuerdo. Y ahora nuestro tradicional brindis con maestro Dobel. Con estos tres ganadores. Salud Nicolás, salud John, salud Sofía.
Pero sin esto, ¿no? Un limoncito, algo así.
Un hielo.
Y mientras se junta para dar la vuelta de la victoria, le agradecemos al rector de la Universidad Anahuac, Puebla, el señor José Mata, a GNP Seguros con sus premios y a todo el comité de premiación por acompañarnos en este clásico.
Nico.
Ya estamos listos, Nicolás, John, Sofía.
Uy, que se pare ahí va a ser un lío. Tengo que ser rápido por el pozo. Ok. Les voy a pasar allá al lado y o sea, que se quede parada no va a ser sencillo, pero ahí va. Listo. Yo te digo, 1.
¿Listo, Nicolás?
3.
¡Felicidades, jinetes! Ganador del clásico, Nicolás Pizarro. Segundo lugar, John Pérez. Tercer lugar, Sofía Larrea. Cuarto lugar, Fabián Cejanes. Y quinto lugar, Luis Gerardo Castañeda. Nicolás, una vuelta tú solo para recibir el aplauso del público aquí en Quintas Ecuestres. Gracias al rector José Mata y a su hijo Lázaro por acompañarnos en la premiación de este clásico patrocinado por Universidad Anahuac, Puebla.